Hi. Happy Valentines-ish day. Are you full of love? I'm full of love. I am so full of love. I could just puke love all over this house. My baby woke up and puked all over me last night. She was probably full of love. You know, because of all the love. But we're not here to talk about aggressive baby burps, are we? We are here to talk about the relationships in the Discworld City Watch books. So I was racking my brain thinking, how can I do a Valentine's themed video when I don't read any romance? I figured I would just take something I do know, and that would be the City Watch books, because I just finished the whole series. Thank you. I'm all done. And now I also feel confident to actually talk about it. I feel like somewhat qualified now. So get ready for lots of City Watch stuff. Woo! So yeah, if you are as excited about that as I am, just go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It's so easy. So, Discworld, it's not a romance. Shocking? I know. There are, however, some relationships in the series. And so I wanted to talk about our 4 main city watchmen and their relationships and just take a look at them. I was originally going to rank them, but I like them all for different reasons and in different ways. So in no real particular order, here we go. Commander Samuel Vimes and Lady Sybil Ramkin. Okay, these two are my favorite relationship. At first, Lady Sybil completely overshadows and outshines Sam Vimes in pretty much every way. But of course, at the beginning of the series, Sam Vimes is still a gutter drunk, so the bar is low. Sybil is a lady, as in she owns like all of the land. I think she owns like 1/10 of Ankh-Morpork, which is substantial. So she was born and raised hella rich. And she was just bred to be nobility. She lives her life with a confidence and a grace that just comes completely natural to her. Can you tell that I love Lady Sybil? I think she is such a badass and I love her. So, how on earth did these two become one? On the outset, it doesn't seem very likely. Luckily, Sam has so much potential that was just there waiting to be tapped once he put down the bottle. Lady Sybil raises dragons. She takes no shit. And, I mean, raising dragons is extremely dangerous. You know, because of their tendency to explode. In Guards, there is a dragon issue. I won't spoil that story, but a dragon is involved. Sam and the Night Watch go to the resident dragon expert, Sybil. So a little bit more about Lady Ramkin because I adore her. She is a tank of a woman. She is a big, strong, physically woman. She could crack your head between her thighs, and she might just if you threaten what's hers. She's also older when they meet, so she's like spinster age. People think that she's not going to get married, but nothing is conventional about her, so this is nothing. Okay, I can keep going, but this is not a character study of Sybil Ramkin. You can trust me though, she rules. And she's also a super good person on top of it. Ugh. Without her, the rest of the story doesn't happen. She provides the means for the City Watch, and she is the strength and the heart that bolsters Sam Vimes, who becomes the City Watch. So yeah, none of this would have happened if she didn't love Samuel Vimes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is not our job to fix anyone. And I think it would be easy to misconstrue their relationship as a woman finding a project man and fixing him up to be the shining Samuel Vimes that he becomes. You can't fix someone. But two people can work together to become the best versions of themselves and make each other better. If somebody loves you and treats you with respect and understanding, your best self will shine through. It's just unavoidable. It is so much better to raise somebody up than to keep them down. And it's even better when two people work together to lift each other up. And that is what I see when I see Sam and Sybil Vimes. So, for example, Sybil doesn't demand sobriety from Sam. He chooses it and is better for it. Addiction is hard. And I love that Terry Pratchett didn't shy away from the struggle that sobriety is for Sam Vimes throughout this series. But it's always his choice, and his wife is always there supporting him and encouraging him in that. Their relationship is unique in that Sybil has unlimited means to provide. She also has hobbies of her own. I mean, dragons. And they both accept that they're not the be-all and end-all in each other's lives. She does require some sacrifice from Sam, because that's part of being a family. She respects and supports his work as commander of the City Watch, but she also makes sure that he understands that he has obligations to his family as well. Another way you could look at their relationship that would be wrong and bad is that Sam Vimes found a sugar mama to fund all of his policing. That's also not the case with these two. Sam loves Sybil, and he sees her every bit as the incredible woman that she is. He occasionally plays the henpecked husband, but he wouldn't change a thing, as he learns in spades in Night Watch. Sybil cooks the family meals despite being an awful cook, and she also knits and darns his socks despite being awful at it. Sam never complains about the cooking, and if anything, loves the way she screws it up. And having lumpy socks might be a little bit annoying, but he would never say a thing. He loves those lumpy socks. Overall, their relationship ranks really high on the relationship-o-meter for me. It may not be the sweetest, corniest, sappiest love story around, but these two people are killing the relationship game. Next, Captain Carrot Iron Founderson and Angua von Uberwald. This relationship is more likely to raise a few eyebrows. Unless you're a member of the furry community, of course. I kid. Kind of. See, Angua is a werewolf, and therefore spends a portion of her time as a wolf. But she's also human. Carrot Iron Founderson is also two things in a less physically literal form. He is a human, but he was raised by dwarves and follows all of their customs in every way except his literal body. He is a dwarf. And this duality of both of their characters makes them really interesting individually and as a couple. So Carrot is secretly the true heir to Ankh-Morpork. Like, if they still had kings, he would be the one sitting on the throne. He just pretends like that's not the case, though, and ignores it, and just hopes nobody finds out. He still has a kind of magic connected to him. He is a natural-born leader. He is so good. He is good to his core. He is incredibly likable. And yeah, everybody loves Carrot. He's also smart and organized. He's really hard not to like. Angua was also born of a noble bloodline, the von Uberwalds of Uberwald. But she chose to leave and become a member of the Ankh-Morpork City Watch. She is the first female officer and also the first werewolf officer. She's introduced to us in the novel Men-at-Arms, and I adored this one. I think the way that Terry Pratchett discusses sexism and racism through the lens of Discworld was masterful. He shines a light on these issues without making it angry. He blends these issues together and still tells a fun and compelling story. As a woman who works in a predominantly male industry, I really connected with this one. So these two fall for each other hard. Angua has a hard time accepting that Carrot really, genuinely loves her, despite the fact that being genuine is one of Carrot's major personality traits. She doesn't understand how he can just so completely overlook the fact that she is a werewolf. So many people fear her or hate her when they find out. And he's just completely unbothered by the fact that she turns into a wolf sometimes and sleeps in a basket or heads out in the middle of the night to chase chickens. He is honestly unfazed. And since Carrot is so wonderful and nice to everyone, she secretly worries that he's just being nice. The wolf dog part of her is fiercely loyal, and it also bothers Angua that people look at their relationship like she's his pet. So Angua has a lot of self-worth issues to work through, but Carrot is there the entire time, just loving her and standing by her. And he follows her just as much as she does him, even though, yeah, she has a hard time seeing it. So, sure, this relationship can look a little bit hinky from the outside, but it is pure, and it is good. One of my favorite lines in this series was actually around Carrot and Angua's relationship. In Thud, a vampire is initiated into the City Watch. Her name is Sally. Werewolves and vampires are like oil and water. They just don't go together. It doesn't help for Angua that Sally is also beautiful and poised and really good at being an officer. So she gets pretty jealous pretty fast. And she's afraid that Sally is going to try and take her man. Eventually, all of this resentment and fear comes to a head, and they have a confrontation over it. And Sally says, "Don't worry, I wouldn't have a chance. His heart beats faster every time he looks at you, and yours skips a beat every time you see him." I love it so much. It's so good. So yeah, I love them. Fred Colin and his wife. There really isn't a whole lot to say about Fred Colin and his unnamed wife. They have been married for forever. They've mainly managed to keep their relationship afloat by working opposite shifts. She works the day shift and he works the night shift. And then they just communicate via notes. They do have a child and grandchildren, and they don't seem to actually hate each other, so they're good. And I mean, Fred Colin is a bit of an ass. He's basically everyone's casually racist uncle. He takes bribes, he gives bad advice, and honestly, he's pretty bad at his job. A big part of the reason he's still even around is because he's lucky, and answers just kind of accidentally fall into his lap. And also seniority. He's just been around since forever. So anyways, I don't really blame his wife for not wanting to hang out with him that much. He does manage to just barely stay on the side of good, though. But he rides that line hard. And lastly, we've got Nobby Knobs and the ladies. Nobby is, well, it's hard to say, really. He is officially a human being, however, since he has a certificate signed by Lord Vetinari that states, so I must read, "I, after hearing the evidence of a number of experts, including Mrs. Slipdry, the midwife, certify that the balance of probability is that the bearer of this document, C.W. Sergeant John Nobbs, I think, is a human being. Signed, Lord Vetinari." It says CWST. I was guessing that's, I don't know. Saint? Is he a saint? He's probably not a saint. So this is a running joke through the series. Nobby is described as untidy, smelly, and about the size of a dwarf. And as a child, he was a street urchin because he was small, prickly, and smelled like fish. And when you add to all of that the fact that he's a kleptomaniac, it's not really hard to see why he's not killing it with the ladies. Nobby does have good characteristics. He is very loyal, and as far as the big things go, he's honest. So anyways, on to his relationships. There are 3 of note. One is Verity Pushpram. She is a fishmonger, and its relationship, it's not a good one. Mostly because it's not really a relationship. It mainly consists of her hitting him with a fish and telling him to bugger off. It's not healthy, Nobby. He does remain mainly faithful to her, except briefly in Thud, when he starts seeing Tawny, an exotic dancer from one of the local drinking establishments. Tawny is stunning. Like, the perfect female specimen. But she doesn't... Sorry, tree. But she doesn't know it. She does have it explained to her one night when she goes out for drinks with the ladies. Basically, she's just so gorgeous, nobody dares ask her out because nobody stands a chance. So, in turn, Tawny just thought nobody wanted to ask her out because she must be just horribly ugly. Not true. Nobby was the first person who actually did it, so she kind of clung on to that. Tawny is just dumb as a stick, but absolutely lovely inside and out. Their relationship is short-lived, but very sweet. So Nobby goes back to old Fish Slap McGee, and he seems, I don't know, happy. Until, you know what she does? She gets engaged to some other guy. He's got a boat or something. Poor Nobby. But luckily, this opens the door for him to find the love of his life. Nobby meets a goblin named Shine of the Rainbow, and she loves him. She adores him. She's got big old heart eyes every time she looks at him. And he has them too. Vimes at first is a little bit like, that's an interspecies relationship. But Sybil is quick to point out, it's not our business. It's not. So Nobby finally found the matching piece to his puzzle. You know what I'm trying to say. And I'm happy for him. I am happy for Nobby Knobs. So yeah, that's it. Those are our 4 big relationships in the City Watch series. Which couple is your favorite and why? Tell me down below. I personally love the way that relationships were handled in this series. I did not find them in any way irritating, which is rare. And for all of the relationships across the board, not to annoy me, it's great. For the most part, all of the relationships in the series were straight relationships. Except in Snuff, I believe there's one lesbian couple mentioned. But given the time that these were written and just social conventions, that's not unusual. He does manage to push the envelope and make a lot of the relationships about love and acceptance. And the differences between the members of the relationship didn't matter. Terry Pratchett, guys, seriously, this man was so damn good. So this was the closest thing I could make to a Valentine's video without it just being a here's why I hate romance video. Please make sure to leave a like on this video if you liked it. It helps me out as a creator and I like making stuff. So, thanks. Subscribing to my channel is also fantastic. So, thank you. Thank you so much. You're wonderful. Thanks. I will see you again soon. Bye. Hi. Hello. Oh. Hi. Look at this sweet little pukester. She woke up and puked all over Daddy tonight instead of Mommy like last night. So, if you heard her crying a bunch at the end there, that's what was going on, wasn't it, baby? She just turned 1 a few days ago. Look at my big 1-year-old girl. Hi. Hello, is that Mommy over there? Hi. How'd you get so big already? Are you ready to go to sleep? Oh, no, I don't think you are. Okay. Bye. Hi.